We've done it.
Here we are.
Here we is. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, all of you sick freaks who seem to enjoy the city of Chicago and the sports that it inhabits us with. Welcome to the show, Through the Garden. We are so back. We have never been more back than this moment, right here, right now. Tommy, Jordan, Alex, we're here. We're thrilled to be here. It's been a long time coming. Obviously, we had some personal things going on. We had some travels. Like, we don't get paid to do this. If somebody wants to pay us to do this, we'll do it.
Still open.
Yeah, we won't say no.
Yeah, but here we are. We're doing the best we can. So we had to take some time off, and now we're here. The future's bright, and we're pissed off, quite frankly. But we're gonna get to that because we got a lot to talk about tonight. The Bears have, since we last spoken, they released their schedule. So we got to dissect the schedule. We got to talk about what's happening with the Cubs. We can talk some White Sox if we wanted to. Some weird Bulls stuff has happened that I want to get to. And then Alex can fix the Blackhawks, and it's going to be great. So
totally.
How are we feeling, boys?
Feeling good. Feeling good about the Bears. I think if we would have told ourselves a couple weeks ago when we did the last pod, I think our emotions were a little bit higher about the Cubs than they are now. But that's what we're here for. We're here to talk it through.
Yeah, for sure. Alex, how we doing, boy?
I mean, everything besides the Cubs offense in my life is pretty good. So I think if you ratio things, I can't complain too much. But obviously that we're going to blow off a little steam tonight on a certain topic. But, otherwise, the weather's good. We're entering the prime months of summer.
Okay.
Not a big fan of the cicadas, but, what are you going to do about that? So overall, feel pretty good. I think that as we go forward here, we'll get to follow some fun Bears offseason stuff, and we'll see where this baseball stuff goes. Because,
we'll figure it out.
Yeah,
we'll figure it out. We got a hell of a night tonight. I'm not going until I have nothing left to say. I can tell you that right now. I got nothing going on the rest of the night except for this.
Just been taking notes and then just ready for this day.
So for those of you that have decided to join us, first off, thank you. Second, buckle up, because we got words to say. And if you're not listening live, or if you don't want to listen to this live, podcast it, because technology and stuff. So let's start happy. Let's start with the Chicago Bears. Now, happy and the Chicago Bears have not been
things we've never said before.
Things we're not used to saying, but now we have a quarterback. And as Barstool Big Cat put it, when we drafted our quarterback, we were stupid then, but now we are not stupid. So we got a quarterback. We got an electric offense. We got a top 5, top 10 defense. Schedule comes out. And what were your first initial thoughts? Because my thought was, I love the fact that we are not playing division games until November. That was the first thing I took from it. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, I think that's a huge takeaway. I mean, for all the excitement that there is with the Bears, it's important to remember they're installing not only a new offense with the first year first year with the team offensive coordinator Shane Waldron, but they also have a rookie starting quarterback in Caleb Williams. So for as excited as we are, it's not going to look clean right away. So it's nice to have that soft landing spot of Tennessee, Indianapolis, Houston could potentially be a shootout in week 2, but let Caleb Williams get his feet wet before he goes up against the NFC North.
Yeah.
Well, and this is going to be a tight division too. So obviously that those games at the end of the season are going to be pretty significant. So those Raiders are.
Oh no. Oh God. The Voltex or whatever has taken Alex away from us. Alex, are you there?
Can you hear us?
Okay, I'm gonna
Oh.
follow up on Alex's point because I know exactly where he was going with this.
Yeah.
That first week against Tennessee is gonna be so much fun
Oh
because
yeah.
Caleb
Mhm.
Williams first game back. He's at home or first game
Yeah.
back. He's first game. He's
First
at
game.
home. Gets his feet wet. 12 o'clock start. AFC team feeling out the vibes. Week 2 is going to be electric. Sunday night
Week
football
2 is
against
gonna
the
be the fun
Texans.
one. Yeah.
Oh my God. I cannot wait for that one. My mom is coming to town
There you
specifically
go.
because she wants to watch a Bears game at a Bears bar and experience
Okay.
it with the Chicago people. I was like, Sunday night football against the Texans is going to be
Yeah.
electric because they asked a couple of the NBC people which one that they were going to. I'm going to get Alex out of there. We'll bring you back, Alex.
Yeah.
They asked a couple of the NBC people which Sunday night game they were most looking forward to, and some of them said Bears Texans week 2 is going to be electric. So
It should be. Yeah, it has the potential. I mean, we're talking about the rookie sensation from last year, CJ Stroud. All eyes are on him if he can repeat it.
yeah,
And then all eyes are on Caleb Williams to see, can he be the magician that he was at USC? Can that transfer over to the Bears? And we saw it yesterday in the one throw that he had to Jared Everett. He still is going to have those superstar plays. So it's going to be exciting to watch as the season progresses. And I do like the fact that the NFC North is at the second half of the schedule because ideally Caleb goes through the learning curve and then come November 17th, he's ready for that first game against the Packers.
that's what I'm saying. Like these last few years, like we're opening up against Green Bay. We're open like
Yeah.
I hate that because first off, I want to see Bears Packers when it counts, like at the end of
Right.
the year, right? I feel like the first 3-4 weeks of the year, you're still trying to figure things out. You don't know
Oh, yeah.
exactly who you have. That's when we see most of the injuries take place. I want to get through. That's when I want to play these AFC teams. That's when I want to
Yeah.
play like the NFC West or whatever. You know,
Yeah, it's a
want like
very
yeah, like
collegiate schedule.
exactly,
of-
exactly like college does with their basketball schedules.
Yeah.
How
Mhm.
they just load up on outer conference and then load up on conference games. Like when January kicks in, January, February is all conference. Like
Yeah.
I love that that's basically what the Bears schedule is because it's, let's see, we start with Green Bay at home on November 17th, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the last 8 games are our division games. I love
Yeah.
that with the Seattle and a San Francisco sprinkled in. So,
Yeah.
and that San Francisco game, that could be a really good game by then,
Yeah.
you know?
I think it's going to be one of those things where San Francisco is still going into the season as a top dog in the NFC. And I think the Bears, I think it's still going to be a little, when all is said and done, I think it's going to prove to be a season too early for the Bears. I think they'll wind up in that 9-10 win range.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Lions from a couple years ago, where by the time the season was over, you knew next season they were going to make that jump and be the team in the NFC North. So I think that's ultimately where the Bears end up. But here's the thing. There's a ton of parity in the NFC right now. So even if it's a season early, the Bears can still sneak in as one of those wild card teams.
How often do we see in the NFL a team go from worst to first? You know,
Yeah.
it can happen overnight. That's what it makes it so much crazier than like baseball or excuse me, or basketball or like another sport. You know, we see teams go last to first all the time. Take a look at the Lions. Like they were just, I mean, they weren't in last place. The Bears had that covered, but they knock Green Bay out of the playoffs and they're like, okay, here we go. And then they find themselves in the title game within 2 years of like being terrible. So anything can happen in the NFL, which is cool. I've been doing my best to stall because guess who's back?
There we go.
Back.
Alex is back.
I tried hardwiring this thing, so hopefully it doesn't go out again.
There we go.
I was upstairs. The Wi-Fi doesn't seem to like to work up there, so let's hope this goes okay.
Here's the thing. That's why we got 3 of us. When one falls, we still got 2 in place. That's how we do this.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, all right. Well, we've just been briefly talking about the schedule while you were gone. I still want to hear your thoughts of what do you think is the schedule? What do you think the best game's going to be? How do you feel? And then kind of lead that into where you think this team ends up at the end of the year.
Yeah, so I mean, honestly, I look at the schedule and I say, okay, I think they can win 10 games, and a lot of that is just based on the fact that the non-NFC North schedule is pretty manageable. You see a lot of teams on there where you're like, okay, there's no like such thing really as a slam dunk win. The closest thing I get to a slam dunk win is playing the Panthers. But I mean, you see a lot of teams on the schedule that are very, very manageable. And you could say, okay, we don't know exactly what Caleb Williams is going to be, but we do know that this team at least can compete with, you know, I know it doesn't sound like winning, but they can compete with the worst of them, that they're not bottom feeders. Towards the end
Oh
of the
yeah.
year last year, we saw that they weren't bottom feeders just based on, the defense that they have and some of the pieces they have there. So, I mean, I feel like if you win a majority of your non-division games and you split against the NFC North, you have a chance to win 10 games and play in for the playoffs. And I think that's going to be really the ultimate goal is going to be making the playoffs in the first year. And yeah, we're going to have to temper expectations for Justin Fields, Caleb Williams.
Get
Justin
that
Fields,
name
my
out of your
goodness.
mouth.
I know. Oh boy. I still got to get used to it, but you got to temper expectations. Caleb Williams is a rookie quarterback. This is a first time offensive coordinator. You have a rookie wide receiver in Roma Dunze, but you got two veterans in DJ Moore and Keenan Allen. So you do have a number of veterans on that offense. You got Cole Kmet, you have DeAndre Swift, you have Khalil Herbert, you got Tevin Jenkins when he's healthy on the line. Darnell Wright's going to be in his second year in the NFL. But, their most important position is your quarterback, and he's going to be a rookie. So you got to go with the growing pains here. And that NFC North's going to be tough. And I know that it's a soft landing for Caleb Williams. I just wish there were maybe one or two division games in the first half just to spread things out, because all those games are going to mean something. And,
Oh yeah.
if this division is as tight as it's hyped up to be, then, well, every one of those games is going to be huge. And you got to win at least half of them, I think. I mean, it's going to be a stressful time, but hopefully in a good way.
Well, I hope that it's a stressful time in a great way. And I hope that Caleb has 12 weeks of just figuring it out before he gets Green Bay. Justin Fields never had 12 weeks to get ready for Green Bay.
Yeah. Was kind of
Mitch Trubisky never got 12 weeks to get ready for Green Bay. It seems like we always started with Green Bay, or we always started with the Lions. And I wish that this was more in the NFL. This is one of the only schedules in the NFL that the division games are later. I think this should be a thing for everybody.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool to see how it plays out. I think Alex has just hit it on the head. I mean, we saw it today. By all accounts from practice today, the defense won today's practice handedly. So, to Alex's point, for as excited as we are, there's going to be learning curves. And honestly, you shouldn't even be worried about reports of the defense winning the practice.
It's going to happen. Good.
Yeah. It's going to happen in OTAs, but what was cool is that a lot of the vets on that defense, from what I heard, did kind of go to Williams, like, "Hey man, you're good, just keep at it." So all the talk about the Bears locker room potentially being fractured or divided over the Justin Fields trade has proven to be nonsense.
Yeah. It was never a good a good narrative to begin with. It never really was.
Well, and that's just a new age of sports too. It's like guys go different places all the time now. Like we don't see the guys that are staying on the same team the whole time. Tom Brady left and went to Tampa Bay,
right?
Like we don't see it anymore. So I'm glad that noise is gone. I love that the defense is beating up on this offense, because this defense is good, and I want this offense to learn how to play against a good defense, which is going to be incredible. And I want to say too that I heard something that Tom Brady said the other day. I don't know if I was listening to Pat McAfee or what, but Tom Brady said that no, I'm sorry, it's not Tom Brady, it's Peyton Manning. I'm so sorry. It was Peyton Manning on Pat McAfee like a couple weeks ago, and he said that he loved having a defensive head coach, because the defensive head coach would tell him everything that the defense was about to do with him the next week. So as much crap as we give Matt Eberflus for being a defensive guy and being kind of quirky or whatever, him being a defensive coach with one of the top defenses in the league, knowing what the other team is going to do, this may be the perfect formula for Caleb Williams, And I hope it is, because I hope the Bears are winning 10, 11 games next year. And we're not talking about firing Matt Eberflus for holding Caleb Williams back. I hope that's the case.
I hope so too. I hope so
I
too.
hope
And
so. Yeah.
the idea of having a defensive minded head coach really I don't think was ever the problem. The thing that you look for is he a good head coach? And I think the jury's still out on that a little bit. And is he able to hire the right offensive coordinator? And Shane Waldron now, you got a guy who does have experience as an OC, unlike Luke Getson when he first came here, and coming from the tree of Carroll, that's pretty known commodity in the NFL. So, if they do their job, then it's going to be a whole lot smoother. I mean, really, this whole process is so much smoother than any other of the past quarterbacks. There is no Andy Dalton. There is no Mike Glennon. There is no debate over who QB1 is. He's been given the keys to the car right away, and they said flat out, Caleb is the starter. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. So I love it. I love it. I've never been this optimistic about the Chicago Bears in my 30 years of life.
Yeah. Yeah. It seems like they've
Scary.
learned from their past mistakes. And to Alex's point, everything they've done shows the complete opposite of how they operated in the past. But beyond that, they've also taken it a step further by reaching out to Caleb Williams, personal quarterback coach, before the draft and be like, hey,
Amazing.
Caleb, take a look at these plays. We're not saying it's all playbook, but if you wanted to learn them, that wouldn't be a bad thing. So everything,
Love it.
everything they've done has been great. So
Well,
Yeah.
you remember when Caleb Williams was texting about the playbook? Did you hear that story?
no,
When he was asking about the playbook and like texting Shane Waldron and coaches like before OTAs even started, like wanted to learn the playbook, wanted to get
Yeah.
into that.
Yeah.
I mean, what does that tell you right there?
I'm fired up. I didn't doubt Caleb Williams would be a great quarterback. Like as we were going along, and I'm on record with it, and I stand by it, saying that like if it were me running the Bears, I would just stick with Justin and trade down and get the draft picks and like try to figure it out. I never said I liked being in charge or I wanted to be in charge. I just said if I was in charge. I love Caleb Williams. I'm already in.
Yeah.
I'm painting my fingernails week 1, whatever color he tells me that we're painting them. I'm in. I'm getting
There we
a
go.
manicure. I've never gotten a manicure. I've never painted my nails. I'm in. So
Pink iPhone, whatever.
yeah, I don't care. I'll do whatever. I'm behind this guy 100%.
Yeah.
Like, don't make me buy a jersey because I swear to you I will. But I don't want to because I don't want to ruin him. This could be on me,
as much
and I don't want it on my shoulders.
no.
I
As
feel the
much as I
same way.
love, as much as I love Caleb Williams, I've been burned by Bears quarterback jerseys in the past. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna sit
I-
this one out for a little bit.
Yeah, when we went back to the orange jerseys, remember when we debuted them in
Mhm.
Miami? Was it
Yeah.
Mitch's second year we debuted him
Yeah.
in Miami?
2018.
I mean, the
yeah.
minute they released them, I bought the Mitch orange jersey. Like
Yeah.
the minute they released them. So
Yeah.
we're gonna keep talking about Bears here for a little bit, but I learned recently that you cannot comment or chat on the Twitters or the Facebook link that I put out with this. So if you're watching the stream and you're not watching it on the YouTube, go watch it on YouTube because then you can comment and be in the chat and then we
Yeah.
can talk to you and we can interact because that's what makes live streams fun. So
Yes.
go over to YouTube. We're going to keep talking about the Bears. I want to hear what everybody's favorite game of the year is going to be. I want to hear what people think this I want to hear what the record's going to be. I want to hear how far we can go. Like I want everybody in because it has never been a happier time to be a Chicago Bears fan, and that is a fact. So, what's everybody's favorite game on the schedule?
Good question. Good question.
I'm looking forward to the first game against Green Bay. I want it bad. I've never wanted Green Bay. I want Green Bay bad, boys.
That's dangerous.
Well,
That's
here's the thing.
dangerous.
Well, remember, there's 12 weeks of football that happens, or 11 weeks of football that happens before that point. All of that is going to build into Green Bay. I want
Can I
Green Bay
say-
hard.
Can I say one game I'm not looking forward to?
Yes.
If you first, I want you to take a guess. If you know what I'm thinking, I want you to guess.
Okay. Wait. So like just blind guessing what I
Yeah.
think your least favorite game is.
Yes, go for it.
Thanksgiving.
No, but okay. So I had that gut feeling they were going to play on Thanksgiving, The thing I hate about Thanksgiving is like I love and hate it. Like oh hey, Thanksgiving, I get to watch the Bears, but like I know if we lose a tough game, I'm not going to enjoy the rest of my
It's
night.
always the
Ruins the
first game
holiday.
because we never play the
Ruins the
Cowboys on
holiday.
Thanksgiving. We
Yeah,
always play the
no.
Lions on Thanksgiving.
We
And
always play the Lions, yeah. I mean, the last few years we won all those recent Thanksgiving games, but that's because
Yeah.
the Lions were
Daniel.
terrible.
That's because they were so bad. Sorry, I gotta fix this hair. This is
But anyway, no, that's not
Crazy.
the one I'm dreading the most.
all right. What are we
San
dreading?
Francisco?
No. I'll
Okay.
give you each one more guess.
Who are you rooting for Bears versus San Francisco, by the way?
Oh, the
Brock
Bears,
Purdy.
of course.
I know, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I know where you're going with that.
Okay, probably London is gonna be my
Yes.
guess.
Yeah.
You're
Oh,
dreading
London's
London.
gonna be
Okay.
Hate
Yeah.
that shit.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
I don't like it either. I get why we're doing it, whatever. I'm glad it's Jacksonville. I think it's their first game in London too, so they never win the first game, but they always win the second game. So
No.
I don't know. The Bears won the last time that they were there, right? They played
No, they lost.
No, wasn't that against
that's right.
Oakland?
Yeah, we
Oakland.
Oh,
lost.
I
Yeah.
remember that game.
Yeah.
It was Chase
Yeah.
Daniel. We were down like
So bad.
21-0. We
And
came
then-
back, took the lead. Then we committed
Yeah.
a penalty on the punt. And, oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm thinking of the one before that. Didn't we win the one before that? Who was it? Was it
I
the
remember we-
Patriots? Did we
I
beat the
remember we
Patriots over
beat-
there?
We beat Tampa Bay in 2011.
Maybe that was it.
Yeah.
That was a long
we
time
beat
ago.
Yeah.
Why do I think we beat the Patriots over there?
Because you're crazy.
I'm not doubting that. I'm not doubting that. Yeah, I'm not crazy about going to London. But it's our year. It's our contract. Whatever. Like we'll go over there. We'll win. I think the young guys are going to be juiced to go over there and play in a different environment. Apparently the Bears have a ton of international fans. The CHGO boys are going over there and they sold out. Like they had tickets for like a pub thing or whatever, and they sold out like instantly. So
Oh wow.
yeah, apparently we got a lot of Bears fans over there.
Yeah, there are. I think the 85 Bears team created a lot of fans overseas. So.
Yeah, they played a game internationally for preseason too, didn't they? Over there, was it after like right around the Super Bowl time? I think the Bears did.
They might.
Maybe I'm crazy
that's
on
going
that too.
back.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
this was pre us like having lungs and breathing.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, I'm not looking forward to that either, but I am looking forward to that bye week after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, Bears, here we go.
Oh yeah. I
It's
think they might
May.
be back.
Yeah. So this may shelf the Bears talk for a little while, but man, it
Yeah.
has
I
never
mean, there'll be
been-
pop-ups here and there.
Yeah.
Ideally, I would like them to add. We mentioned about
It's a
the
good
defense
question. Yeah. What do
potentially-
we need
Yeah,
to add? That's a good idea.
we talk about the defense potentially being top 10. I think they can be. I do worry though about the dependency on the secondary. I think the secondary is going to be really good. I do wonder who among the non-Montez Sweat defensive linemen are going to step up and say Sweat goes down for a game or two. Are they going to be able to
that's-
generate pressure?
yeah.
So
That's
Yeah, that is I mean, I've said that my biggest concerns of the team right now are the trenches on both sides. I mean, and
Yeah.
and when we play a team like Green Bay, look at the last few years. It's not like Rodgers or Love go out there and throw 400 yards and 5 touchdowns. They've just simply beaten us in the trenches,
Mhm.
like
and they
every
and-
time.
Yeah, and it's like we're set up for pass when they run. We're set up
Right.
for run when
Yeah.
they pass. Like that.
Right.
Like they're just playing smarter football than us. But this is
Yeah.
the year, boys. It turns
I
around.
think so. Yeah, I mean, like we were saying, everything about how the Bears have operated this offseason is different. How even Matt Eberflus sounds different when he's talking to reporters. It sounds like a man who's more confident. I
Doesn't
know a
seem
lot
like
of
the
people.
same guy at all.
Well, he
Yeah,
got a
yeah,
new
I'm
haircut
not-
and he has
well,
a beard now,
I'm
so
not
he's a
sure if
completely
it's,
different guy.
He got the new haircut. He lost some weight. He has the beard now, but he just seems like a complete 180 from the mumbling coach we
He
saw most
seems
of last
like-
year.
It's like, I mean, Ryan Poles is going to have a statue at the new stadium before this is all said and done. Because
In Arlington Heights.
yeah, or wherever the hell it is. Like I don't like at this point, I don't care. Like just whatever. I don't care.
Yeah.
But Ryan Poles is already the greatest general manager we've ever had, because he took this team and said, I know it's bad and it's going to keep getting bad, but once we're good, we're not going to be bad again. And
Yeah.
so far, everything he's done has backed that up. And I know we haven't gotten to the good part yet, but he has cut ties with the people we're supposed to cut ties with. He has drafted the people we're supposed to draft. Chase Claypool happened, whatever. Everything else, though, has been pretty dead on.
I mean, just look at this week. Compare all the times a favorite Chicago sports athlete has left either through free agency or trade. When's the last time that former Chicago athlete shouted out the current Chicago general manager like Justin Fields did
Exactly.
this past week?
Great point.
So
Does not happen a lot.
right. So the way Ryan Poles handles this thing, not only in building the roster, but handling the relationships, because he knew how he handled the trade of Justin Fields was going to be important for that locker room.
Yep.
And it shows that, yeah, he might have got fleeced by the Steelers, but he did it because that's where Justin Fields told him that he wants to go. And that speaks volumes probably to Caleb Williams, who, yeah, we don't want to talk about it, but he probably saw it. He's like, okay, in the off chance this doesn't work out, Ryan Poles isn't just going to hang me out to dry. He's going to put me in a good spot.
Right.
Well, and you talk about culture building too. You mentioned the locker room and all that stuff. And I think that just having that kind of character as your leader, I think goes a long way. And, I think there were some concerns last year. You remember 2 coaches left last year
Right.
due to non-football related issues.
Right.
But, you move on from that stuff. And that's all you can really do right now when you're in this position. So, you move on, you see where things go. And, now you have a proven offensive coordinator in there. Ryan Poles, I think, has made it very clear that he wants character first. And, building a culture is more important today than I think than ever in sports. You have to have, something like that established. And I mean, listen, he's the easiest Bears general manager to root for.
Yeah.
I think Jerry Angelo gets
Easily.
too much hate than he deserves, but he was just a guy behind a desk, and Phil Emery
Yeah.
was a complete buffoon. And then Ryan Pace was
Ryan Pace had a good radio voice, and that is the only nice thing I have to say about it.
great radio voice. But
we didn't know because he only did it on the Chicago Bears flagship. Like outside of that,
I'm just saying, like when he
you
said
barely heard
words,
from him.
that was kind of his charm. It was like when he said words of collaboration or whatever he said, it was like, oh, that sounded intelligent, but you're a dummy. And it proves it because of what the Falcons did in the draft.
Well, can I just give one last monologue opinion of Ryan Pace? Just
Alex,
for the hell
we
of it?
got all night,
We got
brother.
time.
Like
We got time.
I have 3 beers in a cooler. I am ready.
So, he's a guy where I'm glad he's not our GM anymore, and he didn't get us to the ultimate goal. Do I hate him? No. I mean, here's the thing. His process wasn't always good. I mean, we know that, whether it was overpaying Andy Dalton or Jimmy Graham or mortgaging your future. Like that entire roster at the end of his tenure, that team was completely mortgaged away. Everything.
Yeah.
I mean, he traded draft picks very freely. And we saw him kind of panic spend in those last few years. Now, I have to admit, I kind of liked the Nick Foles move when they made it, but I also think Nick Foles could have succeeded better in a better system. But listen, as unsuccessful as it was, I at least appreciate the fact that he wasn't afraid to take a big swing and really try to win. Like, when the time came to get Khalil Mack, when the door was open to get him,
he went and did it.
He took the swing. And I will never, ever, ever fault him for making that trade. I will never do revisionist history on that trade.
No.
And obviously the process of taking Trubisky wasn't good. Even if you liked Trubisky, trading up one spot to get your guy when you would have gotten your guy. The process wasn't good.
Yeah.
The vision was okay. And I say it over and over again that it was so controversial in 2017 who the best quarterback in that draft. There were plenty of experts who weren't sure about Patrick Mahomes and
it just made the trades that much more silly because not everybody was sold on a quarterback. So if somebody else wanted to do something stupid, guess what? There was going to be another quarterback there waiting.
Exactly.
For you. Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
the process was wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and I think you mentioned about hindsight about the Khalil Mack trade. The Mack trade was exactly what you do when you were in the Bears situation.
They were so close.
You have a rookie quarterback or you have a second-year quarterback on his rookie deal. You think he's going to take the step forward. For the first 6 games that season, he did take that step forward. The issue is, like with most of Pace's tenure with the Bears, he just bet on the wrong quarterback in 2017. The Justin Fields trade, my only issue with that was Pace and Nagy should have never been the ones to make that deal because it was kind of done as a last-ditch effort. Like, hey, let's trade up, draft this quarterback, and attempt to save our careers.
You mortgaged the last bit you had to get him.
Yeah, and and it didn't work, and that's why I do appreciate like whenever Josh Lucas does a radio hit because it does provide insight into what Pace's front office was thinking behind the moves. And to Alex's point, you can never say they didn't have conviction because they had conviction with just about every move they made. They just were overzealous when it came to addressing the needs on the roster.
Exactly, and it's funny, like Jimmy Graham, I remember when they gave him all that money, and Jimmy Graham was a good player for the Bears. He had that 2020
He was incredible,
season, he was very good. It's just like, listen, you didn't have to jump the gun and way overpay him like that.
Right.
You still could have got him with, like, there's logic behind getting him, but your process just made everything so unnecessary. And I mean, you paid Andy Dalton $10 million when he had a poor year the previous year and made half that. I mean, it's just, he jumps the gun way too quickly. And, it's.
So, well, I mean, and then the Mike Glennon thing before that was that was just insane.
Bad.
But I will say, too, about while we're saying nice things about Ryan Pace, he also had bosses who just simply did not care. And they were like, go. Yeah. They were just like a kid, like letting a kid play Minecraft. It was like, go do whatever you want. Like, no consequences. Have fun.
Yeah.
And
except for the John Fox hire, because that was George and Ted all behind.
That was George and Ted for sure.
Yeah. Well, there's some give and take there too, right? It's like, okay, you can do all these other stupid things, but we get to do a stupid thing when we want to. So,
well, George and Ted, much. I mean, the thing is, they were also the ones that said, oh, don't hire Bruce Arians. We liked Mark Trestman better in our mock press conference.
Yeah.
Alex, and the last nice
Alex, I love when you get fired up about this. This is my favorite thing in the world.
I'm glad it's entertaining. The last thing I'll say about Pace was the Matt Nagy hire. When that hire was made, like, okay, there's an offensive coach from Kansas City. It wasn't like something batshit crazy. It just didn't work. There was logic behind the hiring. It just straight up didn't work.
I'm still in the camp of that Matt Nagy would have said anything to get a head coaching job at that time, and he never wanted to deal with Mitch Trubisky. He wanted Pat Mahomes. So like. Then they had Pat Mahomes, and they were like, "Hey, we'll hire you as a head coach." I was like, "Yeah, I can do that." And then, whatever. But here's the thing: that's behind us. All of that. That again, that's when we were stupid. We are no longer stupid. We are a smart organization that knows what they're doing. Go Bears! No. Claus.
There we go.
You say we know what we're doing. Have you seen this debacle with the stadium?
We're not talking about the stadium. We're talking about
like I keep saying, you have to separate the football side from the business side.
I know.
Business side still deserves all the flag, but the football side is in the right direction.
I'm going to be honest. I'm out of touch with what's happening with the stadium because after the proposal that they did for the downtown one, I was like, I'm removing myself completely.
All that's pretty much happened since then is all the legislators have pretty much been like, yeah, the Bears plan isn't happening. It makes no sense.
Right. They're saying no. They're not even saying like, well, maybe. They're flat out saying
it's a
no.
flat out no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That's the best.
Even
It's
Poles
just the
was
best.
asked about the parking at McAfee, and he's just like,
I saw that. I did
yeah.
see that. I was like, where's everybody gonna park? And he was like, I don't know.
Right.
There's a Ryan Poles video going around Twitter right now. Someone just sent it to me.
Oh.
It's his little reaction of when the Atlanta Falcons took Penix.
Oh yeah.
And Roma Dunze was then on the board.
Yeah.
I didn't think that the Falcons were ever going to take a Dunze. I really didn't. I thought they were going to go that defensive guy that ended up going to Minnesota.
Didn't think they were going to take a quarterback though. That's
that's what's so they definitely shouldn't have taken a quarterback. But
right.
Yeah, my favorite part of the draft is when Arthur Blank, the owner of the Falcons, went straight up to his GM and he was like, "No, I can explain."
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, like, he's like, so can you tell me what the hell you just did?
It's so fun talking about other teams being stupid.
Yeah,
I get it now. I get it.
That's what's crazy is, we look back at what the Bears did in the draft and it's like, wow, that makes sense. And like you said, now we can look back at the Falcons and be like, what are you doing?
Yeah, that's fun.
They didn't overthink it. The Bears didn't overthink the draft.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best part is Roma Dunze was a slam dunk pick. And they didn't try.
They didn't have to even think about it because nobody traded up for him. Like if somebody traded up for him, then they would have had to think. But Caleb Williams was a no-brainer, and then Roma Dunze was a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Wipe your hands and move on to day 2. Incredible.
Yep. We got the punt god from Iowa.
We got the punt god. Oh my God. I'm so excited.
That guy's got a leg.
It's gonna be fun.
As a matter of fact, Alex, he has 2 of them.
Oh,
are you sure?
I'm almost positive he's got 2 legs.
Wouldn't it be cool if he was like an ambidextrous kicker and he just like alternated?
I'm telling you what, he's so powerful with that one. He might as well.
I was about to say, I'm not gonna say he can't. We might see it. He did a lot. He did a lot of crazy stuff at Iowa.
What if he gets bored with being good at punting? And I mean, obviously continues to be good at punting, but then he just why don't I just master onside kicks? And then the Bears just have the ball the whole game.
The kickoff rules are different this year. I know it's not really related to onside kicks, but remember that.
Yeah, I think I wrote an article for Bears. Bear Guy goes on last month about when the rules were first announced. I think it's going to add added value to Velus Jones Jr. I think he might be a sneaky option to stay on the roster because I think with the new rules, as long as he can catch the ball, which is sometimes been an issue for him, but as long as he can catch the ball, I think they'll beneficial to his style of running.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't care. I don't care who's on the team. Bears are back.
You say that now, but then once a punt is fumbled in the fourth quarter, you could be like, "Why is he?"
Well, wise baseball manager just told me that it needs time to learn the players. So maybe I just need time to learn the players.
I think that manager has learned the players, and I think we're about to start to see him.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's turn these frowns upside, or let's turn these smiles upside down.
Smiles upside down. Yeah.
Let's start with this though. Did you see Shota on Pat McAfee?
That was cool. Yeah, I saw clips.
Hilarious.
Pat
McAfee asked him what pitch he would throw him and how far Pat could hit it. And his response was, it's going to be a fastball. It's going to be in your face. Like Shota is just, I wrote an article today about it and he's just so perfect. Like
yeah, he's the face of the Cubs right now.
Set aside being the best pitcher in baseball right now. He is interacting with the fans. He loves Chicago. Chicago's loving him back. I feel like even if his ERA was closer to 3, I feel like we would still love him. But
yeah, if it was close to 3 for sure. Anything beyond that, I think Chicago would be.
Well, yeah, but the fact that like he's carrying this team, he shouldn't. It should not be on his shoulders to carry this team. He's carrying the team.
All that goes
yeah,
into
and he
probably
just
a large portion of our
right.
discussion
Yeah,
tonight.
but he just loves being in Chicago,
Yeah.
and I love him
Embracing
in
the
yeah,
culture,
yeah.
embracing the,
And who would have thought like we missed out on Shohei, probably could help the offense. We missed out on Yamamoto, but missing out on Yamamoto is almost like moot at this point because Imanaga has been electric.
Yeah, and
and at an
especially for when
insane price.
I was going to say when you compare the contracts,
Yeah.
this is one of those instances where the proponents of intelligent spending are going to point to this contract and be like, see, this is the ideal deal for the model. The issue is when you're the team in the third largest market in
Yeah.
Major League Baseball, that can't be your primary model.
Yeah, way to bring it down.
I
But
mean,
you're absolutely right.
they were 2-5
yeah,
this last
you're-
homestand.
Yeah,
But
you're
I
dead
mean,
on. I'm happy 20% of the time when Shota's on the mound. Like
Yeah.
I don't even know where to start. I went down to Atlanta and I went to 2 games in Atlanta and I didn't see him score a single run.
And then they scored 7 when you left.
And then they scored 7 when I left. And
And
then
they haven't done shit since offensively.
I mean, well, I mean, they really shouldn't have won the games that they won in Pittsburgh. They should not have probably even won the Saturday against Pittsburgh here. So they should have been swept in 4.
Yeah.
And then they really had no business winning Monday night. Like, even when they're winning, it's just so bad. This offense is horrendous.
Putrid.
And
Absolutely
it started
putrid.
so good. It started so good. I can go back to like when we're talking in early April, we're like, oh my God, here we come. It's here. We did it.
Yeah.
And now it's just like we can't buy a single run.
Yeah. I mean, look, that's the risk you play when you want to, hedge your bet on Jan Gomes repeating the offensive success that he had last year. Entering play tomorrow, his WRC plus is 35. Miguel Maya hasn't been much better. His WRC plus is 56. And between the two of them, they're not even an asset on defense because they're all in the bottom percentile when it comes to framing and caught stealing. That's also an issue when you look at Michael Busch, who I'm still relatively high on Michael Busch in the long run. But when you're a team that's expecting to make a postseason spot, to hand over first base, hand over an anchor spot in your starting lineup to a player who hasn't had a full season at the major league level, this is the risk you run that there might be a hill that he runs into that it's going to take him not a few days, not a few weeks, but potentially months to get over. And when you have an offense that lacks power as is, you can't afford to develop a first baseman at the major league level when you're contending for a postseason spot.
Yeah. I will say credit to Craig Counsell for doing what he did for like with Kyle Hendricks. Like he moved him out of the starting rotation.
Yeah.
It had to be done.
Yeah, you couldn't make it start more.
But this is why he was hired. He was hired to make these decisions that nobody else was going to make. Kyle goes to the bullpen, and he really shouldn't even be in the bullpen. And I don't think it's going to last long, boys. I really don't, especially after today. I don't think it's going to last long.
Good.
Yeah,
it's not looking good.
Here's the thing: anyone who wasn't at all involved with the 2016 Chicago Cubs will look at Kyle Hendricks this season, see a 34-year-old pitcher with an ERA approaching 11, a fastball that can't touch 90 on a good day.
88, he can barely get to 88 anymore.
With no movement, and it would be a no-brainer decision to DFA him. The only reason why Kyle Hendricks isn't DFA'd is because he was the starter in Game 7 of the 2016 World Series, and Craig Counsell had to do something to save the rotation from Jed, who Jed probably would have let Hendricks stay in the rotation, but Counsell's like, no. We can't keep rolling this guy out every 5 days to get shellacked. He did today, even out of the bullpen.
Yeah, I listened to Counsell talking on Parkins and Spiegel this week, and he sounded frustrated. Like he sounded like I want to do things differently, but I'm not allowed to yet. Kyle Hendricks is not going to be the only move that people are going to have sour taste in their mouth about, because guess what? Ian Happ isn't hitting the ball.
Yeah.
Ian Happ does not deserve to be in left field every single day, and I love Ian.
Well-
I love Ian, and I have emotional attachment to Ian. But again, that's another example. Like you look at his statistics, it was like somebody of that caliber, they're at least going to be riding the bench for a couple weeks trying to figure it out behind the scenes before they're out there.
At
And
the
it's hard.
very least, he had a few doubles over the past few days.
Correct.
But
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, yeah.
There's
Well,
been signs.
what
that
is
he
with
could
the?
be.
I didn't do.
Oh, look at
thumbs
you.
up. No, thumbs down. Thumbs down.
Right.
Anyways,
weird.
yeah. It's just hard to swallow when Michael Bush is struggling at first, Ian Happ is struggling in left, and you just know that if Michael Bush just moves out of the way, Cody goes to first, PCA goes to center. Now, I'm not saying PCA. I'm not saying PCA was like doing wonders for us, but he's the fastest dude in baseball. Like just bunt and get on base. Yeah, he looked so much better. Wait, one more thing. And then with Ian Happ over there, it's hard to swallow. Like, yes, he's had a couple doubles the past few days. It's hard to swallow what I've seen in the month of May from Ian Happ when Brendan Davis has gone bananas on AAA pitching.
Wow, he's hurt now. So
right, yes. And Owen Casey is batting 288. He's batting 288, and nobody's talking about him.
Well, here's the thing. This is why the roster move the Cubs made on Monday made no sense in terms of promoting Luis Vasquez. And I love Luis Vasquez. I love his story. But in terms of where the roster is right now, it made no sense for them to promote an infield prospect when you have both your starting shortstop and your starting second baseman coming back. You still have Nick Madrigal inexplicably on this team. And to your point, we saw improvement from PCA as he was getting more consistent play appearances. And here's the thing.
It seemed like right when he got hot, they took him out of the lineup because Cody was back,
He already recorded 3 outs above average in 23 games in center field, which had he been a qualified player, he would have already been the top-rated defensive center fielder in the game.
Yeah.
With Michael Bush's struggles, you had the opportunity to move Bellinger to first base, platoon Mike Tauchman and PCA in center field to kind of get more consistency through your lineup, because the lineup that the Cubs have right now, if this is production, I tell you what,
Dansby Swanson is batting 8th. He's batting 8th.
Yeah.
This is not good.
Yeah.
It's just frustrating when we collectively can see a solution and it's not happening. And I don't super blame Craig Counsell for not doing it, because I'm starting to learn that he may not have the keys to the car yet.
Well, if you look at the Cubs' Pythagorean record, it's 500. So they're 27-24, which goes to show you that Counsell has already accounted for 3 wins than what they should be having. But here's the thing. Counsell, part of the reason why Counsell came to the Cubs was for the reason that he wouldn't have to consistently outmanage the other team game after game.
Correct.
This Cubs team is not built to blow people out, and that's what makes Hoyer's operation so frustrating, is because each October we sit there, we listen to him. He says, we have to hit the ball over the fence. We have to have the ability to blow teams out. But does he add the legitimate power hitter to the team?
No.
Yeah.
Get in here, Alex.
They didn't hit shit for power. There was no even semblance of power this past homestand. None. The only thing you could say
your
is
power
if you
hitter
track files from Morel. That's it.
When your power hitter is 6'4" and like just over 200 pounds, we have a problem. That's a problem. Cody Bellinger is as sticky as me, and he's our power hitter. Christopher Morel, I get the upside. We should say it too. Christopher Morel has vastly improved his defense at third base from the beginning of the year. Mm-hmm. He still has made mistakes, but it's gotten a lot better, and you can tell that he's working on it and he wants to be better. So credit to Christopher Morel.
What's super frustrating too about the lack of a power hitter is you look at the package that the Yankees gave the Padres for Juan Soto, and it's a package that the Cubs could have beat easily. Yeah. And by the way, Juan Soto, 25-year-old power hitter, 13 home runs, 178 WRC plus.
He's 25. He's 25.
Very well might be the MVP this year.
Yeah.
Very well might be the MVP.
Well, he's also a guy that the Cubs could outbid the Yankees for him.
They
No.
won't.
They
They
could.
won't.
They
They
know they.
could.
I know they won't, but that's my
Yeah.
argument: is they could and they won't because
No.
it goes back to the show contract. God damn.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, I know that.
Going
I
to
know.
point to the
I
show
know
the
that they.
contract is
Yeah,
like, nope.
I know
this
that
is
they
it.
won't. I know that they won't.
No.
But
You know what
it's
speaks volumes related to that of all of this? Every opponent we have, because most of them, outside of a few times, have been elite teams. We played the
Yeah.
Dodgers, we played the Rangers, we played the Braves, we played the Mariners. We played a number of contending teams. What do all those lineups have that we don't? That guy that you just don't want to face,
Yeah.
where you're like, we
and
cannot.
often multiple in one lineup.
Yes, we don't have any of those. Sure, Cody Bellinger, when he's hot, is a guy you don't want to face. Sure, maybe pre-injury Suzuki, but right now, you can pitch around any of these guys right now, truly. And
Easily. Yeah.
I mean, I feel confident that Seiya is going to work out of things.
I think so.
He always
Yeah.
does. I think Bellinger will be fine. I think Ian Happ will be okay, not spectacular, but okay. Um, but like Michael Bush is a little concerning right now with the weaknesses that have been exposed. Even with Ian Happ, like, okay, hitting doubles and drawing walks, that's all cool, but we would like to see a little bit more balls over the fence,
Right.
obviously. And then, the catcher position has given you negative production this year.
It's a
I mean,
lost
it's
cause.
been
Yeah.
it's been awful. Now,
And
I do
like,
think
how do you
Amaya,
fix it? How do you fix it?
I think Amaya's been a little better recently. Like the at bats look a little better, but you need to see that. You need to see that strung together eventually because you
Right.
need more consistency. Jan Gomes, he's old. I think he's over the hill. There's
Yeah.
nothing you can do about that.
Yeah. I have an article coming out about the catchers tomorrow. You don't really fix it, or at least internally, the Cubs really don't have an option to
No,
fix it
and they
outside
can't.
of
You can't really
because
trade for one either.
yeah,
Sorry.
because Pablo Aliando and Moises Ballesteros are still a couple years away. They're not really legitimate options. They released Kurt Casale earlier this month, so that could have been a veteran option to replace Gomes. But their hope is just that they turn it around. But the issue is you either have a starting catcher that's an offensive asset but defensive liability, or a defensive asset but offensive liability. And right now, both Amaya and Gomes are liabilities both on offense and defense.
We should get. I mean, hell, get David Ross on the phone. Like, come consult
Nah.
one of these guys.
Nah.
Well, that's
nah,
how
there's always-
desperate I am.
Yeah,
Like,
no, for sure. And to your point, you don't really see an in-season catcher trade
you don't.
be
Yeah.
too impactful. I mean, how the Cubs found out how hard it is to trade a catcher in season while
Right.
they were trying to trade Wilson Contreras. It's very tough to do.
Yeah, it's and I don't I would have to look at a list to see what catchers are free agents next year. I'm like I can study up on that. That's probably going to be a hot topic this October, November
Mhm.
because Amaya is just not it. Jan Gomes, thank you for your service. Remember, he was here for the hard times and got us through the hard times pretty well. But
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just
Get old,
not
you
it
get
anymore.
old.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And-
Jan's a good veteran in the clubhouse, but the issue is
When
what
we're like, hey, can you win us a game right quick?
yeah, my biggest issue is the Cubs knew last season was an anomaly when it came to his offense, but they kind of were just like, we could roll it back this year. Jan and Miguel would be fine. I did think Amaya would be a little bit better offensively, but it just speaks to the Cubs act like a team that's been in the playoffs the past 4 years when in reality they haven't been in the playoffs since 2020, and yet
Yeah.
they still want the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Right.
I wish we had a bat. I wish we had a power bat. I'm giving Dansby the benefit of the doubt that this knee thing that he was dealing with was affecting him greatly. And I'm gonna give him I think he deserves the time to like figure it out because Dansby's a good ball player. Like, he
Yeah,
wants to
I
play.
mean, I think watching Dansby on defense this past week, I think the knee was probably causing a bigger issue than it was because this week he seemed more comfortable at shortstop.
Oh yeah,
We saw him.
yeah.
Yeah, we saw him make the play where
Yeah.
he fielded. He immediately got the runner out at third base. So I do think his defense is going to play. Unfortunately, his offense, that was a question mark when we signed him. He was an inconsistent offensive player in terms of his power. He really only showed the power the year prior to joining the Cubs. So you really need that defense to be there, and if it's not there, then yeah, it's all a problem.
Everything's a problem. Yeah. And yeah.
It's
So
just so feeble, and it's beyond the point of bad luck now. It's just like this
Yeah.
isn't these
It's
are
a bad team.
non-competitive at bats, right? And frankly, I'm a little concerned about this next week. You have
I
to
was
play
gonna say-
4 in Milwaukee. That's
Yeah.
a
And
hellhole.
don't look now, but the Cardinals have won 8 of
They're
their last 10.
Playing
So,
better. That offense is coming alive. That defense, the
yeah.
Cardinals never say they're just done. I mean, 2 weeks ago, that Cardinal team looked deader than dead.
They looked awful. I mean,
now all this-
Goldschmidt's at bats were terrible.
Awful. And all of
Yeah.
a sudden, they sweep the Orioles. They took, I think, 2 or 3 from the Red Sox. They've been
Yeah.
playing at home all these games, and
that's what's scary because
that's what's
they're
scary.
playing the Cubs at the exact right time, and the Cubs
Yep.
are playing the Cardinals at the exact wrong time.
Yep, and then Milwaukee, that just nothing has gone right for the Cubs in that building the past few years.
And you know it's going to be an emotional with console returning.
Oh yeah, it's going to be ugly. And
it's and the Brewers they're doing the thing that they've been doing, and it was supposed to stop, and it's not.
and it's only going to get better because their farm system's great. It's only going to go up from there from
good.
them.
They got that kid that's electric. Yeah, it's sad because we were so hype. And then this team just died like right in front of our faces.
Yeah.
Justin Steele hasn't been what we need him to be lately. And I know that he was down for a while, but like when you're the ace of a ball club, like you got to come back strong, you know? And we've been saved by Shota and Javier Assad and
Jameson Taillon too.
Jameson
Taillon's
good.
good.
Yeah, he had a couple bad starts lately, but other than that, like his 2 bad starts were, one of them was against the Braves, right? I mean, in Atlanta, like he just had no shot there. I mean, that was the day that Nico got hurt and Patrick Wisdom was our leadoff. You know that's a problem.
Yeah, and I don't consider his last start against the Pirates bad. I don't think he was done any favors.
No,
I thought he was fine. That
well,
start.
I mean, he's been a casualty of this team not producing any runs.
And weird shady defense when
weird shady defense. Yeah, but Nico, he started off the year like he couldn't buy a hit, but he was hitting the ball super hard. That's starting to come around. So
Nico's just a ball player.
He is a ball player.
Again, the Cubs have a lot of good ball players. They don't have a superstar bat. That's going to continue to be the problem until they either luck into one, whether it's Owen Casey, whether it's Matt Shaw, whether it's Calvin Alcantara. They luck into one of those becoming a superstar bat, or they somehow get lucky with their intelligence spending and find their position player version of the Shota contract. Because for as much as we want to dream about Juan Soto this winter, it's not happening.
Oh, no, it's not.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the next year's free agents for the catching position, and it's not looking any better. Danny Jansen out of Toronto. He's gonna be going into his year 30. And then the next maybe like Austin Hedges or Gary Sanchez, Tucker Barnhart.
Do you wonder?
It's bad.
I want to rule out Austin Hedges, just given the Cleveland connection.
No, don't rule him out. And no offense to him, but
not as like
I'm just saying. I'm just saying the Cubs will be screwed at the catching position for years to come.
Well, we'll see. I mean, Belisarius is the 6th rated prospect. He has an ETA of 2025.
Can he play now? Can I have him right now?
That's a thing. He doesn't really address the need this year. So
it's this week is gonna be bad. Like we just 2 or 3 from the Braves gone.
And I hate
we're hitting the Cardinals at the wrong time. We get 4 against Milwaukee, and then the Reds come here, and the Reds just beat us. Like they're like at Wrigley, especially the Reds just kick our faces in.
Not the last time.
Wait, is this the weekend that Joe Buck is gonna be on one of the calls? Yeah,
Saturday night.
Saturday.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what?
But only on the St. Louis
I know.
local.
And
Yeah,
this might be a hot take. I'm a Joe Buck guy.
I like Joe Buck.
He's
I
grown
love
on
him.
me.
Yeah, I love him on Monday Night Football. I loved him on baseball.
I liked it. I never had a problem with him. I fed off of people's hatred for him. I never had a problem with him though.
To me, when you hear Joe Buck's voice, I mean, it's kind of like what we used to feel when we heard Al Michaels' voice. When you hear Joe Buck's voice, you know,
right? And like the generations before us had Bob Costas and and Brett Musburger, and you know, like Joe Buck is our guy. Joe Buck, Jim Nance, like those are our dudes.
And honestly, look at how many bad Monday Night Football games they had last year. But Joe and Troy called it as if it was like a playoff game, and compare that to what we had with Al Michaels and Kirk Street, where they were just miserable for some of those Thursday night games.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Those were. Yeah, my college years, some of those Thursday night football games, like, oh look, the 2-12 Jaguars versus the
It was always the Jaguars versus the Titans.
Always.
Yeah.
Every Thursday night game in college was the Jaguars and Titans. They played 16 times a year.
It was crazy.
Okay. I want to keep talking about the Cubs because I feel like it's still a big deal.
It's a hot button issue for sure.
Yeah. So it's never too early to talk about trade season.
Yeah.
Read something on Bleacher Report today, and I wrote a blog about it, but read something on Bleacher Report that the Blue Jays are going to be open for business. Somebody linked Vlad Guerrero Jr. to the Cubs. I don't think that's a possibility.
No.
I would consider Bo Bichetti before I considered Vladdy.
Oh yeah.
But,
for sure. I just don't.
But yeah, I don't see either of those being trade partners for the Cubs. But here's the thing: if Michael Busch keeps doing bad things, and it doesn't seem to be working,
bad things,
right? And it doesn't seem to be working out. Obviously, we have Cody who can take over first, and that opens the door for Pete Crow Armstrong. I get it, but long term for the first base position,
you tell me it's gonna finally be Pete Alonso.
Why not? And I'm not saying like trade, but it could come down to the offseason. Like Cody doesn't re-sign here. Pete comes in. He's our long-term first baseman. He's our first long-term first baseman we've had since Anthony Rizzo was here. Pete Armstrong is our center fielder of the future. Doesn't that solve a couple more problems if the Cubs really pony up and give Pete Alonso the money?
But here's the thing, not to sound like a depressed Cubs fan, I think Pete Alonso is just gonna be the next Brian Roberts. Where
it's possible.
Where we know the Cubs love Pete Alonso. We know they try and get him every trade deadline. We know he's a free agent, and they try and make an effort to sign him, but it just
doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want Rowdy Tellez.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, Pete Alonso and the Cubs have had an interesting relationship the last 2 years, right? It seems
it's like one of those things where like the Cubs kind of want to make a deal. They love Pete Alonso, but they just haven't matched up yet. The timing hasn't right. This could be a year where the timing doesn't match up once again at the deadline. Mets
don't look to be going anywhere.
Yeah. And the Mets have already said that they're going to be pushing to re-sign Pete, but I think Pete has been so frustrated with not getting a deal done yet and is sick of his name keeping dangling in the trade deadline. Maybe he gives other teams a chance, like in free agency, to sign him.
Here's the thing. He's also a Boris client. So I think the Mets sitting at 21 and 28 are going to realize, hey, Pete's probably going to walk out the door at the end of the season. Let's move him at the deadline. It's been a while since we've had a Pete Alonso caliber bat available at the trade deadline.
It's also been a while for the Cubs to buy a rental like that.
Yeah, I mean, and again, the Cubs have one of the best farm systems in baseball.
You have the ammunition to do it.
They're also fortunate because a lot of their top prospects are blocked in terms of you have to find a spot for Alex Canoia. You have to find a spot for Owen Casey. You have some pitching prospects that I think you're comfortable to give up. You're not touching Kate Horton. You're not touching Matt Shaw.
Can I interest
but
anybody in Jose Cuas? Anybody at all?
Dangle,
we go back
dangle.
to UPS.
I wouldn't even let him sell me a hot dog at Wrigley.
Yeah, he would probably.
What's that meme? Where it's like the fast, like the speed run of the guy making the McDonald's burgers,
Yeah, yeah, pretty
just
much.
flapping the
Yeah.
cheese on the
Yeah,
patties.
No.
yeah. Anyway, I don't know. This stretch in the next 10 days is huge for the Cubs.
Oh yeah,
You could dig yourself
Because
a big hole
if
right
they
here.
if they even I'd say even if they go 5-5, hard look in the mirror of like if
well,
we're
5-5 is the fourth of what they have to do. They can't do anything worse. Than
that's what I'm
5-5.
saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Mhm.
Even at 5-5,
Yeah.
you're like, we just squeaked by, you know?
Right.
Like if unless like sparks fly and craziness happens in the next 10 games where somehow the Cubs go 7-3, I'll take it all back. I'll be like, okay, you figured it out. Congratulations, we're in offense again. But 5-5 or lower, it's like we really need to talk about Michael Busch not being the long-term solution at first base. We need to talk about Ian Happ being in left field. We need to talk about a whole lot of things.
I mean, I think as we get into June and say Ian Happ and Michael Busch are continuing their struggles, you can't really justify keeping them in the lineup, especially Michael Busch. He doesn't deserve the benefit of the doubt. I would even argue that Happ doesn't really deserve the benefit of the doubt, but he's going to get it just based on...
He doesn't,
He doesn't, but he's
and
going to get it based on his contract.
I am an Ian Happ guy. I love Ian Happ.
Yeah.
But we gotta cut these emotional ties. This team is so primed to be so good with the amount of talent that is young and ready to go.
Well,
if somebody's gonna stand in the way of that, we gotta figure it out, you know?
Oh, Happ has no trade, so shout out.
Yeah, we're not gonna trade Happ. I know we're not gonna trade Happ,
but that's what makes
it doesn't say don't hit the bench for 2 weeks and figure it out.
Going back to the Luis Vasquez promotion, that's what makes it so frustrating. Is you had a prime opportunity to finally call up Brennan Davis and see if you could capitalize off of what he was doing in Iowa, where he had 7 home runs in 8 games. He's hurt now, so that's unfortunate.
What did he do?
It sucks. I never even saw what happened.
They haven't given an official diagnosis. Everything they're saying now has been precautionary reasons. Knowing his history, my guess it's probably related to the back in some form. But we'll see.
Just as no luck, man.
Yeah, and that's why, to me, if you're going to option PCA down, you knew you were in an offensive crisis. Why not promote Davis up to the major league level? He's already on the 40-man roster. Try and capitalize off of his hot streak and see if you can just ride that out as teams try to get the book on him at the major league level. But it is what it is.
Yeah, and the thing with PCA going back down, if the Cubs were winning and hot and their offense was rolling, then okay, I can understand that from a development standpoint of wanting to give them at bats every day. But the thing is, this offense right now is so broken, so insanely terrible that it felt like you needed that spark plug to try to generate anything. The last time they actually scored that win in Atlanta, PCA had multiple hits, including a triple. Kind of that spark plug there. I feel like you need some sort of a kick in the ass. And I know this isn't going to happen. I know this idea would make people puke in Cubs land, but did you notice what the White Sox did when they got Tommy Pham? That offense was awful. Tommy Pham came in, and all of a sudden they kind of... Say what you want about Tommy Pham, but the Diamondbacks last year got him.
Yeah, the guy
that kind of sparked him. Yeah, Tommy Pham's batting like 320 with the Sox right now. Yeah. I'm just saying, like, it's stuff like that, and I don't know when this is going to come out, because that series against Milwaukee, man, has me all up in knots.
I'm so scared.
Yeah.
I'm so scared.
Honestly,
we shouldn't look ahead, because we're setting up for disaster in St. Louis.
Yeah,
The way that
it's
this
not.
offense is going and the way that they're trending up, like we're setting up for a disaster.
Yeah, it's not going to be good.
Yeah.
But
I'm looking right here. Nothing. Iowa didn't say anything about Brendan Davis. He wasn't in the lineup today. He was on the field for workouts. He's just day to day. So
yeah,
something precautionary. It may just be like tummy hurt or something. I don't know.
Some sort of
I mean,
senator.
I think, and the crazy part is, I mean, with the offensive success he was having, and with the lack of offensive success that the Cubs are having, I think you would be hard pressed to say that he's not knocking on the door, especially with the struggles of Michael Bush.
Yeah.
Again, if we go 10 more days and Bush hasn't turned around, you seriously do have to consider moving Bellinger to first base, whether it's PCA, whether it's Davis, whether it's even Owen Casey. Give one of these guys a shot to come up and provide the spark.
Yeah. Yeah. So like anybody, honestly.
Yeah.
But I'm okay if we wait until after these 10 games because this is as close to the full team as we've seen since the beginning of the year.
Well, right.
I'll look at them. I'll see it. But I mean, if we get swept by St. Louis, my story's going to change. I can tell you that right now. But I mean, like this is time. This is Craig Counsell's time to like be like, okay, your idea isn't working. It's now my turn. Or okay, let's keep this going. You know, stuff like that.
Yeah, and I think like what started it. I think we saw it with the Kyle Hendricks demotion to the bullpen. I think Counsell is going to start to have his input way more in terms of the roster. To your point, we haven't really seen this team healthy, so this is going to be the healthiest they're probably going to be for a while. So let's see it.
Wood.
But knock on wood. So let's see it. But for whatever reason, the Cubs speak from an area of comfort as if they've made the postseason in recent seasons when they haven't.
Can't do that.
Yeah, they're batting like 200 as a team in
198 since April 27th. That was tweeted by Locked On Cubs. 198, and that's almost an entire month. That's unbelievable.
That's unacceptable.
No, it isn't. It isn't.
I
don't know what else to say.
I mean, all I can tell you is this team is only 2 games out of first place, and we should be so much better.
They have to find. God. I mean, they have to find the 2024 version of the Nick Castellanos trade. Well, they identify a bat that's out there that immediately comes in and just rakes. I think we touched on Pete Alonso. I think that's probably going to be the name at the top.
That's going to be the hot. That's going to be the hot. Yeah.
And honestly, we'll see how these 10 games go. But if you're the Cubs, you have the prospects to make that deal now.
There is no need to wait until July because if you wait till July, it's going to be way too late.
Yeah.
This Brewers team, like just as easily as the Cubs could figure it out and take off at any second, this Brewers team is playing way better than they're supposed to be playing. And they could take off.
There's no signs of them slowing down.
And
they just know how to do it.
Yeah, a bat like Alonso just extends the lineup. Not to mention, it increases your chances of blowing teams out, which then would decrease the injury risk because you get to take players off their feet for the final 5-6 innings of game, as opposed to going 100% like they had to do June through September last year.
Yep. Pete Alonso batting .236 this year. 11 home runs, 24 RBI. So he hasn't been all that in a bag of chips, but he's Pete Alonso. He's gonna
he hits homers. I mean, that's what you really want right now. I don't even know how much they were out homered. They hit 2 homers on that whole homestand, 2 or 3.
That's
ridiculous.
Kind of. I mean, and this is what circles back to 2020 when they non-tendered Kyle Schwarber when they just. I know. Well. They massively overlooked the need for power. I mean, say what you want about Schwarber's batting average. The guy hits 40 home runs a year. The guy is exactly who you need in this lineup right now. And
the headline on Cubs.com right now is belief in the bats is unshaken. By who? Because consider me shooketh.
I'm so
Yeah,
tired of
it
I'm
put
so
me.
tired of the Cubs saying they believe in the bats, and we have to look at players who don't have the back of the baseball card to warrant belief in the bat.
Yeah. Ben Brown though today, huh?
He was
Ben
good.
Brown,
Yeah.
anybody?
Yeah. No, he was good.
I
Porter
love.
Hodge too.
I
Yeah.
Oh
really
yeah,
like his arm.
yeah. Hodge,
Yeah.
go ahead and retire 37. Put him in the hall.
Yeah. That was
I
an
was-
impressive
I
debut
was
in that
I was
blowout.
there last night, and
Oh, yeah.
he was 2 pitches away from an immaculate inning.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean,
Good.
and that's what I mean. Again, that's what's good. A lot of the Cubs pitching prospects are coming up and performing well. We're going to see Kate Thornton probably within the next month
It's
or two.
it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of
But
time.
you have to find a bat.
Hit the damn ball.
Yeah.
I
Bullpen
and
finally gets good. And they
all
can't.
all of this comes around, and like we're so upset, right? We're acting like we're 10 games out. We're 2 games back. We're 2 games back.
There's the optimistic Tommy trying to come out.
I know.
Trying to come out.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying. Like, I love this team, and I know that we got it in us, but like Zetas Lapidus, like we got to do something, man. Like, just hit the ball out of the ballpark.
Right.
If Christopher, like, we keep saying it's gonna warm up, it's gonna warm up. It's been a pretty warm week, and you haven't done.
The wind was howling out, and you couldn't do anything with it.
Yeah.
God, this pisses me off.
I'm with you, brother. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm like
Tired.
I'm
I'm tired of watching mediocrity. I'm tired of watching garbage. It's
I'm
just
smiling through my tears, brother. Like,
Hey.
it's
anyway.
Caleb Williams is the best quarterback.
Caleb McCaw's up.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's just
So Scotty Scheffler, eh?
Scotty Scheffler got arrested. That was wild.
That was a wild story.
Did you see the video today?
I saw the video.
Yeah, I saw the video.
What are we doing?
And it was so crazy. I was at the gym last Friday. I'm like, oh wow, second round of the PGA Tour delayed. I wonder what happened. And as I'm on the treadmill, I see Scotty Scheffler detained. I'm like, whoa, what is going on?
Them arresting Scotty Scheffler the Friday of the PGA Championship is exactly like arresting Tom Brady in the parking lot of Gillette Stadium before a 3:15 start.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened. What are like, and they dropped the charges, and apparently the cop might be reprimanded for this, but
it was crazy. It was
you
nuts.
have to be an idiot. I like the city of Louisville should have had all the cops on a Zoom and said, look, this is happening today. This is happening this weekend. It's the biggest thing that happens in Louisville, except for take away the Kentucky Derby. This is the biggest thing that's ever happened here.
Yep.
We got to be on our A game. Like, this is the number 1 player in the world. Like, and of course, very sad that the wreck happened and the things and stuff. But like when the wreck happens and they say that golfers are going to be allowed through, those cops should have pictures and names of the best players in the world and know that they are who they are.
Or at least the license plate, you know?
What are we doing, boys?
Hand up. Would I recognize Scotty Scheffler if he walked by me? No, but it's not my job if I'm patrolling by the golf course that's hosting the PGA Championship. You would think I would know a better job of who's an authorized personnel to go into the golf course.
He's also jumping on his car and banging on the windshield.
Yeah.
Once I heard that story, I'm like, oh, okay. So you guys wanted to make it about you, where you just
I'm also going to go out on a limb and say this will be the last time that Louisville hosts a major championship.
Although shout out that golf, what's it, Valhalla? That's an awesome name.
Oh, great course. That 230-yard par 3 would have me shaking in my boots.
Boy, I wonder what it costs, to play there, and I wonder what they pay the groundskeepers at a place like that, because you got to keep that place immaculate.
Well, let's see if I don't know if it's public. I'll look it up here. But yeah, I mean so Medina over here, that one is a private course, and they've done the Ryder Cup was there. They've done tournaments there. Cog Hill has hosted a few tournaments. Mount Prospect. Olympia Fields. Olympia Fields hosted the BMW a couple times.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
yeah. What was it called? Valhalla?
Valhalla, yeah.
Valhalla.
Isn't Medina considered like the nicest course in the Chicagoland area?
Yeah, it's the elites of the elites are allowed to play there. We are
Yeah.
not. We are not allowed
Michael
to play
Jordan
there.
can play there, but
You and I, we're not even allowed to look inside of it. I'll tell you that right now. Yeah, I think this is the course right here. Oh, nope, this one is in Maine. Not the right course. Great podcasting here, by the way.
But you're gonna find Valhalla, and the main picture is gonna be the cop just smashing the windshield of Scotty Scheffler's car.
Yeah. Let's see. Golf, course tour, PGA Championship. Yeah, you got to be a member.
Yeah,
got to be a member. We I can tell you, can't confirm, not members.
No.
Probably not as exclusive as like Augusta National, but obviously you probably still have to be a human of some sort of statute to play there.
Yeah.
While we're talking about golf, Xander Schauffele winning is incredible. He's been coming in second all this time. Now he finally wins one. Yay. We should mention that too. I want to talk about the Bulls for a second.
Yeah.
So just to get the juices flowing in everybody, Dwayne Wade talked about how the plan A in 2010 was to go with him and Wade and Bosch to come to Chicago with Derrick Rose and Joakim Noah on rookie contract and do it in Chicago. And then at the last second, they pulled the plug and went to Miami. How are we supposed to feel about this?
I mean, not surprised because, I mean, if you thinking back to how it kind of played out, I mean, Wade kind of played the Bulls like a fiddle, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I am scared to death that I would have become a LeBron guy.
Look, hand up, I'm a LeBron guy. What the guy is doing, even at this age, is remarkable. Do I think he's better than MJ? No. But I think some of the hate that he gets is kind of unwarranted.
I just have fun hating him.
And don't get me wrong.
I'm not saying that any of it's warranted. I'm just
I see people hate it, but I'm like, oh, that must be fun.
Yeah, but I probably would have been a LeBron guy. I probably would have been all over it. I think Michael would have gotten into it too.
I took it personally.
That wouldn't even bring Michael. Michael is so done with the Bulls that I think.
I think them getting good like that, like with Wade, especially like Chicago guy, Dwayne Wade, I think it would have brought him back in.
Well, hey, remember this. They did get Wade eventually when he was old and playing limited minutes, when he was playing with Rajon Rondo, and they made making
it 3 alphas, right?
And we're forever grateful. We're forever grateful.
That team was stupid, but kind of fun. Honestly,
it was fun to watch.
When we did get Dwayne Wade, I was like, oh man, I kind of want a jersey now, but I didn't do it because
I didn't either.
I am as casual of a Bulls fan as you will find.
Yeah,
no, it was fun because you had Jimmy in the origin story of becoming Jimmy.
Yeah,
you had Rajon Rondo, you had Wade. So yeah, no,
they weren't bad. They weren't terrible.
Yeah.
That describes a lot of Bulls teams.
No.
I was gonna say
that's middle of the road. I mean,
pretty par for the course.
Yeah, the Bulls there.
Yeah. What draft pick do we have? Like
11
80 or something?
No.
Oh, going back to the NFL draft. This is something I wanted to say. Sorry, now we're at the part of the show where I'm just gonna keep bouncing back and forth with things. The NFL draft in 2026 is gonna take place in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And my wife's family's from Pittsburgh, so they want to go. And Hannah was like, oh, we want to go. And I was like, well, by 2026, who cares about the draft, right? We're just going to be picking 30, 32. Like, 32, who cares?
Yeah.
Like, who cares?
Geez.
Who cares?
Yeah. After the Caleb Williams, Justin Fields Super Bowl.
Yeah. 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 No, you mean Russell Wilson?
No. Russ is going to be benched by week 5.
Week 5.
Justin.
I think Justin will get a chance. Week 5 sounds about right.
Justin's taking that job.
I don't think it's going to go well. And it's not Justin's fault.
I think it'll be better than Russ.
What do they have? What do they have? Pickens? They have Pickens. They have Freiermuth.
They have an offensive line.
Najee Harris.
The Bears. Hey, You've already said a much better offense than what Fields had to work with the Bears.
Yeah,
That's
true.
fair.
That is
Yeah.
true.
That's
You are
fair.
not wrong.
All right,
You are
fine.
not
Right.
All right, fine. Whatever. Yeah. Wow. All right. We're almost an hour and a half into this. This was
Yeah.
a good one.
This was
it.
good, and
needed
my
it.
laptop's about to die.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Any last thoughts, anybody?
No, go Bears.
All right. I'm naming this one The Boys Are Back.
Hell yeah.
Boys are back.
Can't argue with that.
Yep. All right,
There we go.
folks. Thank you for listening. We'll talk to you next week.
See ya.
Bye.